Welcome back to Dubster Dive. We're going to look at something that's English dub, and we're in October. So we're starting it off with something nice, lighthearted, and wholesome. Right, Di?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, don't let the title Goblin Slayer fool you. This anime could be enjoyed by anybody. Including you, Di. And you
Not
never...
me.
Yeah. You never enjoy anything. Wait a minute. I mean, yeah, let's just get into this. So, Goblin Slayer, it's a manga written by Kumo Kaju, or light novel series. I don't know why I said manga, and illustrated by Noboru Kanatsuki. I probably butchered that. With Volume 1 coming out in 2016, and there's 16 volumes currently out. And the anime was done by White Fox. You all know the ReZero people and Steins Gate. And the upcoming season isn't done by them because White Fox take too long to do any follow-up season.
Yeah.
How long have we been waiting for season 3 of ReZero Die? 3 years?
Yeah, but then again, one day too, it comes out fucked. Looks like that Steins Gate 0.
Yeah, it needed to be 48 episodes. Was that... Did they do 0? They probably did. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, anyway. Anime aired October 2018 with Funimation simul-dubbing it. And, yeah, you know, the anime came out fine. No one was... What's up? Did they do it?
You're starting to cut out a little.
Okay. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Good. But yeah, the anime came out with no controversial stuff surrounding it whatsoever. So, you know, let's just go over a couple... Yeah, let's go over a couple of the buzz real quick, because we get introduced to our main adventuring party right away. You know, they're just starting up. It's your typical Final Fantasy party. They want to go out and have adventures. They're aspiring to be stuff. Like, first we have... Warrior. Oh yeah, they're all named by after D&D classes, so it makes these characters really easy to remember. Remember the class. But yeah, we have Warrior, voiced by Tyler Carson, who's Iggy from Dances with the Dragons, and a voice actor I've never heard of before. But that's okay, you know, having a new guy voice a main character in something is a good idea, right, Di?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's joined by his friend, Fighter. She's a martial artist. Voiced by Kristen McGuire, who's Maleen from That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Best girl in that series. And if you disagree, then your opinion is wrong. I mean, yeah. And Mage, voiced by Christy Rothrock, who's Momo from Chio's School Road and Kuritsu from the Kuritsu Monster Development Plan. But her most known role is probably Hidden Breasts Girl in Episode 9 of Akiba Strip.
Damn it.
Yeah. And, the one new member that joins their group is named Priestess, who's totally best girl in this series. Voiced by Hayden Davio, who's Neo from Revenger, not to be confused with Tokyo Revenger, even though they aired at the same time. That show's actually pretty cool. Y'all should check it out if you haven't seen it. And
that
Alice...
was an unfortunate time to air your show.
It was. That show's still cool, though. And she's Alice from My Unique Skill Makes Me OP, even at level 1. One of the worst isekais I think I've ever seen in my life. No, I am not covering it. I did. Someone asked me to watch it, and in exchange I could pick a terrible anime for them to watch. I picked Gilgamesh because I'm such a nice person. Anyway. So yeah, these four go out on an adventure, you know. They're gonna go slay some goblins. Hence why it's called Goblin Slayer. Right out of the gate, the title makes sense. We know what our goal is. It's a based on the opening quest. They're gonna go from here. They're porcelain rank adventurers, by the way. Porcelain like the toilet. Or like the second remothered game that's broken beyond belief. We let's play that if you're interested in seeing how fucked it is. And, yeah. They go in there, they're ready to kick goblin ass, and... Oh. These aren't our main characters, are they?
No.
Oh. But the light novel gives them such elaborate backstories. Like, the fighter, wanting to live up to her dead father's memory of becoming a great martial artist like he was and to help him and everything. Why would you give backstories? Oh, they did the bait and switch thing. I got you. And it actually works really well here.
Except those don't exist in the anime.
Yeah, the backstory's like, that's why. Yeah, well, to be honest, it's one of those things. I get why they cut it for pacing reasons. It's like, nah, but it's alright. It still serves the same purpose. So yeah, Goblin Slayer actually follows the titular Goblin Slayer dude who goes around seeking vengeance upon goblins and removing them from life. Because goblins, as this series shows you, are really fucked up and evil creatures.
Yeah, or so explains subtly as it goes on. Oh, they treat goblin jobs as jokes, but really, they're the ones who do the jobs that the hero parties don't, because they're too busy killing demons.
Yep. Because there is
someone's gotta save the towns.
Exactly. That's why, like, there's a scene when Goblin Slayer is getting yelled at by one of the other party members. We'll get to her in a bit. Basically saying, like, don't you care about the demons? They're going to destroy the world. And he goes, like, that may be, but the hero party could protect the world. Who's going to protect the towns from the goblins? You know, valid point. It's like the typical thing in Final Fantasy. Who's going to protect the towns while your party's out saving the world from Sephiroth or whatever the fuck?
Even the minor recurring heroes party does acknowledge that at some point.
Yeah. So... And this show is really fucking dark at points, which if you know anything about us, we've covered dark fantasy shit before. I mean, it's not like I really like Berserk or anything. What are you talking about?
He's real subtle about it. He says he'll see you next time for the next remake of the Golden Age arc.
I'd be down. Maybe this time they can actually cover 100% of it instead of like 80% of it across two adaptations.
They'll just cover 1% of what wasn't covered before, but cut out some other stuff that was covered.
Damn it. Anyway, so yeah, if you haven't seen Goblin Slayer yet, and you don't want us to spoil anything, because yeah, this shit we just described with the first party happens in like first 10 minutes. You go check it out. We recommend it. Ignore the controversial bullshit, which we will get to, don't worry, because it's really fucking stupid. But yeah. Before that... Yes. Oh my god, some of the fucking takes I've seen online. Alright, well, we'll get to those later. Let's talk about the fun stuff first. So first, animation, Dai. Besides the elephant in the room of him turning CG every couple of seconds, how is it?
Yes. It's animation.
I mean, does it
I
look
still
good?
don't get that, because it'll just transition, and then he won't be CG anymore. That's the only thing about it that's jarring, is him it being CG or not CG the next scene.
It does sound really stupid. I genuinely don't get it.
And it would be like, okay, so they might do it with the other party members too. No, just him. He is the only one who that's for.
Well, do the other party members wear full armor like he does?
No.
Oh, so that's probably why, I guess? Well, we'll see if it happens with Season 2. It's in the hands of a new studio. But I mean, outside of that, how's the fight animation, all that look? Does it look fine or whatever?
Yeah, they show you the detail of the goblins getting their faces smashed in exactly.
Yay!
Or burned alive, or... Alright, else.
Yeah, as far as the OST goes, you got some good stuff. Your typical, you know, fantasy music. You got the song Fighting Impulse, which sounds like boss music that you typically hear at a JRPG. Then you've got the song I couldn't help but think of Pantera the entire time it played, called Campaign Strategy. Seriously, jump 40 seconds into that song, and it sounds like the exact riff of This Love by Pantera. Which also sounds like Waiting for a Mirror to play from Doom 2's soundtrack. I don't even know why I picked up on that during Goblin Slayer, but
Speaking of Doom segues...
we'll get to that in a second. Last name I really wanted to mention that I liked was Priestess and Her Profound Mercy. Sounds like something straight out of FF. It's a song that plays, if you remember, when Goblin Slayer is telling her the goblin children will go up and ravage villages while she's sad that he's killing them or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like that song a lot. I thought it was a nice piece.
Only good goblin's a dead goblin.
Yep. But now we're on to the dub part of it. So ADR director was Tabitha Ray, who I don't think I've heard her in much at all lately. Unless you have.
No.
With script by Caitlin Barr. And now we've got our main person. We'll get to the script in a bit, because there is a couple of sub to dub changes. Some are fine, others are... I mean, subline was a bit funnier. So Goblin Slayer is voiced by Brad Hawkins, who's Wolfwood from the Trigun Badlands movie, but more importantly, he's Doom Slayer from Doom 2016. Well, he mocapped for him, but that is fucking awesome.
Well, of course, that's all you could say, because he's not like Doom Slayer talks.
Dude, that's so fucking cool, though. You've got a dude in a full suit of armor, hell-bent on killing otherworldly evil monsters. You know, on a never-ending quest to purge them from existence. They're very fucking similar, and they're both badass professionals at what they do. Also, he's the Gold Ranger from Power Rangers Zeo, and I did not know any of this before looking this shit up on him here. Probably should have known that during when we covered the Trigun film. But whatever. But yeah, Goblin Slayer is known for being such a good conversationalist. You know, he says things like, I see... And yeah.
Or, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, he doesn't get along well with other people. That's his whole thing. See, his family, what's up?
Who could blame them? They are people.
Yeah. I like how much, he's not actually stupid when it comes to fighting. That's the one thing he does, know a bit of how to do. You know, when he's, for example, when he's fighting the ogre, voiced by Marcus Stimac, by the way, if anyone cares, and he uses a teleportation scroll to link the ogre with the bottom of the ocean so he gets fucked up by the, water pressure. Yeah, I thought that was really cool. There's a lot of moments like that. Like, when it comes to fighting, he's really good at thinking. Because he's, like, outside of that, yeah, we do see him get fucked up or whatever in other fights without his party members' help.
But the only thing that's on his mind is killing goblins.
Yep, that's his whole thing. And if you're wondering why, it's because they killed his family. But they won't do it again. And it's implied they might have raped his sister in front of him, so... Yeah, he's valid reason to hate these fuckers. And how does Brad Hawkins do? It's really fucking good, actually. I really like his portrayal of him. And he himself said he loved how, the action and gory scenes, because he's into that sort of thing. Which means he might be a fan of the Saw films.
Would you like to play a game?
Yes. He explained that to get the helmet effect working, like, they actually experimented a few times with having a bucket in front of him or over his head to do the filter. That sounds interesting. I wonder how that worked. But yeah. Now...
Who has metal buckets sitting around?
Apparently
that studio does.
Apparently Funny did. Well, they did. But after him, we have the first party member he ends up getting on his side. Priestess, who's the only survivor after her group get murked viciously by goblins. And, yeah, she's basically still represent the, I guess you could say the good that and humanity that he must protect and all that. And I think Hayden did alright. She did fine as Priestess. No real complaints. She said she loved how Priestess, you know, started off being a little more shy and wasn't as bold in the beginning, but by the end of it, she'll even stand up to Goblin Slayer, giving him shit, being like, you know, I'm so tired of you saying stuff like just, I see and yeah. Why can't you respond more naturally to me at this point?
Yeah.
Exactly. And yeah, her whole thing is to help Goblin Slayer realize he can rely on others instead of being such a lone wolf all the time.
You mean this? You mean as character development? No way.
I know, dude. I really saw
Who'd want that in their show?
I saw some retarded people online claiming that Goblin Slayer himself is a power fantasy self-insert. Who the fuck would want to insert themselves onto him? He saw his sister get raped in front of him, and he's on a never-ending quest of revenge.
And you know, he literally dies at one point.
Yeah, like, what the fuck? Like, he's not, again, I've been bringing it back, but yeah, these characters aren't infallible. You do see them fuck up or get their shit kicked in, and they barely make it out alive on constant occasion. Yeah, moving on from him, we've got the next, the adventurer that joins him. High Elf Archer. Worst girl die.
Yeah,
Nah,
sure.
you've picked worse girls before this one. Voiced by Mari Rodak, who's Astaroth the Ice Queen from Combatants Will Be Dispatched.
Wait,
what?
Why specifically that?
I don't know, because I guess eventually we gotta cover that series. It is by, what's-his-face? Konosuba dude. And Hayakawa from My Tiny Senpai. Okay, how do people get mad at this show of all things? Oh, whatever. And Dragon Road Elenies from Jobless Reincarnation. You know, you never see people canceling this bitch. They always go after Rudy. It's starting to notice a double standard there, guys. Anyway. High Elf Archer! What's up? Were you gonna say something?
I mean, well, you see, and people cancel Tiny Senpai because short women don't exist. Don't fact check that.
Well, yeah, so High Elf Archer's whole thing is, didn't she leave her forest to explore whatever? And then she became a adventurer after that because she was tired of the elfin life. She thought it was boring.
All they do is talk about trees.
I hate trees! Wait a minute. But yeah. She actually said herself that she loved how standoffish towards Goblin Slayer that Archer started off, but by the end of it, she actually views Goblin Slayer as a friend, even standing up for him in the guild hall when Goblin Slayer is asking for help. And, yeah. She also said she loved voicing drunk Archer, because there's a scene where she gets really shit-faced, I guess you could say.
She does seem to voice drunk characters a lot.
Yeah, she said she loves voicing those types of characters. Well, you know, that's fun. Again, I don't think anyone did a particularly bad job here. Everyone's doing a good job in their role. Because after her, we have Dwarf Shaman. Oh yeah, should mention Elf Archer. I don't think I need to tell you what her job is. Priestess being the healer. Shaman over here. Actually, what the fuck does Shaman? He has attack spells, right? Like we've seen him use fire and stuff.
Fires and rock.
Yeah. He's voiced by Barry Yandel, Mr. 2 from One Piece, and Henry Henderson from Spy X Family. What a silly name. Yeah, he likes drinking a lot. He's your typical dwarf.
But what dwarf doesn't?
Exactly! He's cool, I like him. I love the bickering between him and Elf Archer, too. You know, where it's on the surface, they don't like each other, but you can tell deep down they actually do respect one another and all that shit. And they know when the getting gets tough, they can rely on one another. The thing with the party, you see them actually develop and grow closer as it goes on. So it works really well. And yeah, the last main party member we have is Lizard Man Priest, which he can fight too. He also summons, what is it, warriors to fight for them?
He's a warrior priest, not a...
Yeah, not a traditional priest like priestesses.
He fights with summons and has some...
Can he summon weapons too? Because I know he's throwing
He summons weapons and skeleton familiars to fight for him.
He also says by the might of Iguanodon, the god he worships, or by the claws of a velociraptor.
Those are his weapons.
He also likes
And his
cheese a lot.
No, he just likes dairy.
Yeah.
And
What are you
his
gonna say?
goal in life is to become a dragon.
Yep, the highest class of a lizard. And he's voiced by Josh Bengal, Lawrence from St. Cecilia and Pastor Lawrence, and Shasha from Overlord, the Lizard Man, and Tenji from Tomodachi Game, because I liked how trashy that show was. That show was stupid and fun. So I just had to throw it in there.
He has voiced lizards quite a bit.
He has. Probably could have found more if I kept looking. But yeah. I like the Lizard Man, dude. I'd be his friend. He was cool. Wouldn't you be his friend?
I don't know. Did you bring the cheese?
Oh, cheese! A gift from the gods! He calls milk the nectar of the gods, too.
Nectar of the...
Well, nectar of me. 10 points if anyone got that reference. But yeah. So that's our main party. Again, you know, you see them slowly develop a friendship and brotherhood and all that as it goes on, which is cool. But now we've got the side characters, and there's quite a few of them, so let's get through these. First, we have Guild Girl, who's the receptionist. Voiced by Sarah Ragsdale, who's...
She might as well be on the main cast, so she's in, like, almost every episode.
Oh, she is. I'm just saying they're side characters because they're not part of the party. But yeah, Miyako, she voices Miyako from A Sister's All You Need.
I'm saying that because of some of the other people they listed as mains.
And she's Queen Elizabeth from Azure Lane, the animation. And yeah. Her whole thing is she wants to make sure party members are all safe or whatever. She even constantly recommends Porcelain Adventure. She's like, I don't think you should go after goblins. She said that in Ep 1 to the first party. Being like, that might be too advanced for you. And of course they laughed it off as a joke, and, well...
Yeah, she's also probably definitely the reason Goblin Slayer showed up to that dungeon.
Oh yeah, I'm sure she probably told him. But yeah. After her, we have Cowgirl, voiced by Brittany Lotta, Rico from Made in Abyss, and Quartz from Gungrave Gore.
Yeah,
oh my god.
That's how you do it.
Watch our LP of that. Trust me, you won't be able to unthink her for this role ever again. But yeah. Cowgirl is the childhood friend of Goblin Slayer that's still alive, and he lives on her farm now. So...
Yes, even the civilians don't get actual names.
Yep. And she's totally hot, right? Yeah, so... And her whole thing is, she wants what's best for Goblin Slayer, constantly wondering, like, what's at the end of the road of his never-ending quest, that eventually he will have to stop slaying goblins, and then what will he do? And that she just wants him to come home safe and all
Dream of slaying goblins.
Yeah, I think he's going to be, like, a 90-year-old man, like, on his deathbed, and still, like, crawling along, killing goblins. Yeah. Back in my day, we slayed goblins. Do you know what a goblin is? Of course you don't. I made them extinct. Yeah. After her, we have Sword Maiden, voiced by Meg McClain, Rachel from Angels of Death, and Akashic from Miss Kuritsu, Monster Development thing. And, yeah... Sword Maiden used to be an adventurer, then she took an arrow to the knee. I mean, yeah, she also hates goblins.
She took a goblin to the dungeon.
Yeah, goblins might have done some fucked up shit to her, too. So... She plays a major...
They only blinded her with a torch and did all the other goblin things. What's so bad about... Anyway. Yeah.
So, she has a natural hatred of goblins, too. She also has a albino gator as a familiar.
Yeah. A giant albino gator living in the sewers.
Yep, during the Watertown arc, which apparently was a lot of the voice actors' favorite arc to record for. Oh yeah, that was one thing I forgot to mention. Speaking of that arc, that's when Priestess gets her arm bitten into profusely, Apparently, Hayden had a lot of fun voicing that scream. I will say, they go all in when the characters scream on top of their lungs in pain and agony. So, I'm sure some people lost their voices in dubbing this. Closest thing to voicing in a shonen, really, I guess. But yeah.
Well, you win some, you lose some.
After her, we have Mysterious Witch, or as some places have credited her, Mysterious Wizard Witch, which sounds really fucking redundant. Voiced by Amanda Jish. Claris from the new Sakura Wars anime, just called Sakura Wars, not to be confused with the old one, called Sakura Wars. And Haruka from Afterlost, probably Madhouse's worst anime. And
it was their best. And anyway,
yeah, her whole thing is just being mysterious. She even tells Priestess, she's like, I mean, you're gonna go with Goblin Slayer on this quest, right? Just to let you know, he's asked me to do some very strange things. Oh, you think I'm being pervy, don't you? No, I don't mean that. You'll see.
It doesn't help with how she talks slow.
It really doesn't, yeah. She's very flirtatious. One of the other people hanging around the guild hall, though, after her, is Spearman, voiced by Kyle Ignishi. What's it?
Or the one that's usually hanging out with her.
Yeah. Who's Kirsch Vermillion from Black Clover, and the new voice of Sariel from Devil's a Part-Timer. And I really like his portrayal of him. He's typecasted, of course, because he always plays these types of characters. But what I like about Spearman is... Yeah, but Spearman, he comes about, it's like, yeah, I'm a badass and I know it. The thing is, though, is when he actually does fight, he does manage to hold his own a lot of the time.
So he's the opposite of the spear hero?
Yeah, it's not all bravado. When you do see him fight, he does do shit. Whereas spear hero is just a dick. So... Kyle does a great job playing these types of characters. You can tell he's in his element when he's voicing people like this. I mean, these type of people do seem like the type who'd be really fun to play, though, don't they? You just get to be a dick for a while. Well, after him, we've got a new group of adventurers. First, Greenhorn Soldier. What are they going to do when he's no longer a greenhorn after a few novels with him?
He's always going to be a greenhorn to me.
Yeah. Voiced by Matt Shipman, Jonas from Sugar Apple Fairy Tale, and Enjo from Super HX Heroes. Oh no! Okay, I'm sorry. It's okay.
You're the one that wrote it down like that. It's your own fault.
It was for comedic effect. People know. And yeah.
But also go watch Sugar Apple.
Yeah, Sugar Apple's really good too. If you want a show that covers discrimination and shit like that really well. Because Castlevania Nocturne sure as fuck didn't. Yeah, so... Again, he's your typical adventurer who wants to, you know, rise up through the ranks and be the real hero and dreams of becoming better. But he's constantly fucking up. Like getting his sword trapped in a giant rat monster.
Yeah.
And
I used to have a sword till it got stuck in a rat.
You're just a rat in a sword in a rat anyways. Yeah, he's constantly having to be saved and rely on his friend, Apprentice Cleric, voiced by Sarah Wiedenheft, Zeno from Dragon Ball Super, and Charmy from Black Clover. And, yeah, it's the same thing. She's basically just stuck with him. She wants more than to just fight giant rats, too.
Yeah. I mean, at one point they tried to recruit Priestess into their party.
They did, but she was still with Goblin Slayer. And they're like, are you sure you want to be with him? Because, I mean, Goblin Slayer, he's not very approachable. So, who knows? Maybe they won't be Apprentice and Greenhorn Season 2 or whatever the fuck.
No, I think their names are just set in stone.
Yeah, they are. Let's be real. Well, only a couple more. After them, we have the narrator, who's... I honestly remember being there a lot more often when we watched this back in 2018.
I honestly forgot we had a narrator most of the time.
Well, she's voiced by Jessica Peterson, who's Francisca Von Karma from Ace Attorney, and Celeste from My Unique Skill. Again, you might ask why am I bringing that one up, because I was really curious if they were going to get her back for Season 2 of Goblin Slayer, but I guess that answers that question. So...
yeah, if it even has any narration at all.
Yeah. But now, for some of the other one-off people. So first, we've got Goblin Lord, the final boss of the season, who's apparently on par with potentially a platinum-ranked adventurer. Oh, I should mention that, yeah, the adventurers thing, they start off porcelain, but they go up bronze, silver, etc. Goblin Slayer is a silver-rank adventurer, even though all he hunts are goblins. Basically, to showcase how capable
pretty
he
much
actually
established he could be higher if he wanted, but he just only hunts goblins.
Yeah. Because we see him take down an ogre, he takes down a giant eye monster, which I thought was supposed to be a beholder. Maybe it is, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, that was pretty much a beholder.
Yeah. Which the eye monster...
Pretty sure the rest of the party are silver too.
Yeah. Except Priestess. I think she ranks up halfway through, doesn't she?
Yeah. Actually, no. There's more ranks in between. I think she was adamantite.
That's right. Yeah. She's adamantium or aluminum. It was something like that.
Yeah.
It was aluminum because I kept saying aluminium to be a dick. I'm sure some British person out there's going to punch me.
What is this ranking progression?
I have no idea. But yeah, so the Evil Eye monster and Goblin Lord are both voiced by Jacob Browning, who's Takuya from Cheerboys and Hayato from Salaryman's Club. And I couldn't find much else that he voiced in, to be honest. Not like it matters. The filter on Goblin Lord when he talks is so strong that, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see. Speaking of which, all the goblins are voiced by the same group of people. They did say that on the commentary that came on the Blu-ray. It's now out of print, thanks Crunchyroll. But yeah, Derek Snow voiced some, Jared Green voiced a lot of them, who's also Cowgirl's uncle. And Jacob Browning, as just mentioned. They said they did that to make sure the goblins, because they are the same race of creatures or whatever, that they all sounded similar enough across the board.
Yeah.
They've all got silly filters on. But yeah, we're almost done. Just figure throw it in here. Young Goblin Slayer is voiced by Haley Todd, who's Aki from Miss Caretaker of Sunahara Sue, and Takashi from Hinamatsuri. I don't think she's been in anything recently, so I see a replacement potentially coming, though who the hell knows?
You never know.
Now, the weird one, though, is with his sister, because I've seen a couple places credited as two different people, though to us, it didn't sound like it changed at all.
Crediting is always inconsistent, especially for minor characters.
Yeah, so I figured we'd put both of them here. So it says for episode 2 it was Rachel Glass, who's Elma from Dragon Maid, and Bulldog from Azure. I'm sorry, I thought of the dog-faced gremlin. I don't know why, when I saw that role. But yeah, which we think it's her the whole time, but apparently it's saying in Ep 10 it was someone named Rachel Thompson. Still Rachel, so I guess close enough. Who's Sheena from Liar Liar. That show's just dumb fun, I guess. And Satomi from Keijo. And, yeah, I mean, if it did change, I didn't even fucking notice, did you? It sounded the exact same to me. But yeah. Then there's one more character known as Female Knight, where it says in the simuldub version of episode 5, it was a different person. So it says that it was Rachel Thompson in that as well. But on all the other episodes, and on the Blu-ray version, it was voiced by Rachel Messer. How did 30 people voice in the show named Rachel?
I think that's why they're all confused. Why all these places are so confused.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sounds like a Rachel to me.
She was sustained from Akashic Records. Best girl in that series. But yeah, that's basically it. Out of all the the cast, whatever. You know. And as far as the dub goes, you know, dub's pretty good. You like the dub, Die?
Was it really necessary to have the equivalent of 2 recap episodes?
We'll get to the movie in a minute, and then we'll go over that stupidity. But first, a couple of things with the script. So, there's a moment where Priestess says to Goblin Slayer, "Be careful," in the dub. In the sub, she says, "Don't be reckless," which makes more sense, because he immediately replies, "I'll be reckless if it means I win." Because I remember you were the one who pointed that out, because you had the subs on as well when we were watching. Yeah, at the same time. Yeah. And then there's one which
it essentially ends up
meaning the same thing. Yeah. So it still works, I guess. This one, though, I just find funnier. It's when they're covering themselves in blood to cover up their scent from the goblins. And Archer says, "I won't forget this." And the dub, he says, "Understood." But in the sub, he just goes, "I will." Makes him sound like like way more of an asshole, dude. Like, I cracked up at that. Also, didn't you say they cut out a few more ICs?
They cut out and added, so essentially, I think the dub might have more.
Yeah. It all depends. But overall, yeah, from what we saw, the scripts seem to add up outside of those for the most part. Well, if you're curious about the Blu-ray extras, it's the first one is Mallory, Hayden, and 2 producer assistants, which this is called Dubster Dive, not Producer Dive, so these people don't fucking matter. I'm sorry about that. Going on about their thoughts on D&D. And then the commentary, which is Tabitha, Mallory, Hayden, and Brad. The bottom shelf.
Damn. Yeah, they can go produce themselves somewhere else.
And yeah, that's all you really get. You don't get the recap episode. If you want to watch it, it's exclusive to the Funny app, which I don't know why you'd want to watch it. Or I guess it's on those sites too, which is
it is one of the worst
where we watched
recap
it.
episodes ever.
Is it worth it though to get a few extra sentences from Cowgirl? Yes.
No.
No, it's not. The recap episode's kind of shit. It's the most mess. Like, why even recap it in the first place?
And it doesn't even conclude the things it's recapping.
It's... yeah. Like in the scene where Priestess gets her arm bitten into, Archer gets fucked up or whatever, it just cuts to the next thing immediately after that. It's like, what? You didn't even finish recapping that. It's like, yeah, you already know what happens. Fuck you. Oh, whatever. Clip shows are trash. Probably why this episode might be lost to time eventually, if it wasn't on those sites.
And no one will remember it, and that's for the better. Because that trend needs to fuck up.
It does. It does. But yeah. That's Goblin Slayer Season 1. It's really fun. Like it. Dark fantasy elements are really cool and all that. And it showcases that goblins are really fucked up. And it's because of that, every time we see goblins in something taken seriously, it's like, yeah, we're just going to assume you were inspired by Goblin Slayer to do that. Yeah. Or you could just think of Full Dive when JYB shouts at a goblin, "Why are you watching me drop the kids off at the pool?" But we're not done yet. And don't worry, again, we'll get to the stupid shit after we're done covering.
Because there's almost a movie, if it wasn't for it also being recap.
Yep, so Goblin Slayer, Goblin's Crown, was a film released in early 2020, with the dub coming from Funimation later on that year. And the first 25 minutes are all recap. After we already discussed having a recap episode. But to be honest, I think the movie recaps better than that shitty recap episode.
It also recaps the same events, making it more relevant.
It does. So if you watch the film and think, oh, it's just a recap, no, jump 25 minutes in and then you'll get an hour of new content, which apparently does adapt a light novel, so it is relevant shit. Oh yeah. This time the ADR director is still Tabitha Ray, with the script being by Jeremy Kratz and by Clinkenbeard. Which might be related to Colleen. I don't know. You never know with these things.
That's a very specific name.
That's true. And yeah. So we follow a new group of adventurers that think they could take on goblins, and you all know what happens. The main of this film is Noble Fencer, voiced by an heiress totally not into race casting Kinonis, who's Usagi Yama from My Hero Academia, and Rika from Wonder Egg Priority and Jujutsu Kaisen 0. Man, how do you keep voicing Rika's? Very specific name.
Just wait till they fuck up the L again and call them Rika.
I hate you so fucking much right now.
You just hate because I'm right.
Fuck Studio Nautico. But yeah, so she recruits Goblin Slayer and his party because her group foolishly thought they could take on goblins and didn't go well. So the goblins are hauled up in the mountains, so they try waiting them out to starve the goblins, but it didn't go well. So we'll go over her party real quick. We've got Wizard. What's up?
I mean, she doesn't recruit them. They're recruited by Sword Maiden.
Yeah. I would sum it up the events. Just trying to streamline a bit, man. Because apparently, Noble Fencer went missing and her family's looking for her because she's part of, again, Noble household. But yeah, first we have Wizard, voiced by Mark Allen Jr., who's Shinazaki from My Tiny Senpai, and Kazama from My Senpai is Annoying. How do you voice in both shows with that name that are both rom-coms? Dwarf Priest, voiced by Kent Williams, who's Mal from Darker Than Black, and Father from FMA Brotherhood.
And who she's only crediting to pad things out because I think he only says like a sentence at most.
Yeah. Then we have Female Warrior, voiced by Krista Laporte, who's Chelsea from Infinite Dendrogram, and Tina from Overlord. And the last one is Scout, voiced by Suzy Young, Yuffie from FF7 Remake, and Eula from Genshin. Also, Sumi from Rent a Girlfriend. Why'd I throw that one in here? Because we just saw the episode that Sumi started, and Sumi's... never mind. What? Why are you looking at me like that, Ty?
It's okay, we'll get him help someday.
And, yeah, the party, basically, it's your typical thing. They start off trusting their leader, but eventually they end up being the ones who are starved out by the goblins in the end. And fucked up shit happens to them.
They all get had.
Yep.
I mean, beheaded, yeah.
And the main villain of this movie is named Goblin Paladin, voiced by Jacob Browning, again. And they're trying to be consistent with that, so they even kept it up in this movie. And you don't fuck with the Goblin Paladin. And... yeah, there's a whole thing where Noble Fencer tries joining them, and Goblin Slayer and them are like, you're gonna get in our way, but fine, you can join us if you want, because you're just gonna go on your own anyways, aren't you? Because,
yes.
She was traumatized by the goblins. Yeah, she was basically raped, too, because goblins are kind of pricks.
Goblins are really nice guys if you get to know them.
Yeah, fuck the goblins. And she does have numerous freakouts when she sees goblins and has nervous breakdowns and everything. And I think Aneris did alright, I guess. We're all used to having nervous breakdowns. Well, yeah. There's also a moment where Elf Archer gets an arrow to the knee. I know it's in the leg. I'm doing it for the meme, die. And they have to cut out the arrowhead, and she has to scream on top of her lungs. I'm sure that didn't hurt Naori's throat at all. Overall, it's a fun film, even if the first 25 minutes of it are recap. And it makes you wonder, are we going...
It's a 12-year-old game. The joke is dead.
Return of the Dead meme. But it makes you wonder, will Noble Fencer show up in Season 2? Possibly. I don't know.
No, it just made people realize, wow, it really did come out 12 years ago. I do feel old now.
We're gonna die soon! Wait a minute. So, did you like the Goblin Slayer movie, Die?
It was a better recap episode than the recap episode.
Yeah.
And the actual movie part was decent too, I guess.
It was. I feel like they only put in the recap part, because sometimes films do that to catch people up. Like in the Black Clover film, for example, Sword of the Wizard King, it has them exposit about how you need to get stars and eventually, you can become the Wizard King. It's like, who the fuck doesn't know this? That's watching the movie based on Black Clover.
Yeah.
But yeah, on top of catching up new people, I guess, they're probably doing it to make it feature length. Because without it, the film is literally only an hour.
Yeah, it'd be like in Battle of Gods if they exposited how Dragon Balls work.
I mean, the Battle of Gods did open up with a silly recap of DBZ, I guess. I guess, you might be going to the film with a friend who hasn't seen it before.
You've done that numerous times.
I have, actually. Got someone in the fairy tale doing that, though. Going to see Dragon Quest with them. But yeah, so Goblin Slayer is fun. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. We have Season 2 coming up by Liden Films, who did the Bastard remake and Blade of the Immortal remake, and the Heroic Legend of Arslan. So when it comes to making fantasy shows, this is literally their bread and butter. I think it's in good hands. Are you in good hands?
Better than Green Lizard.
But yeah. Now it's time to cover the stupidity, because I know people are going to ask. The controversy surrounding this show. Goblin Slayer's face reveal? What, is that what we're talking about?
No, there wasn't even really much of a face reveal.
But he...
They don't even make a big deal out of it. I mean, the people in the guild hall who seen him for the first time did, but the show doesn't make it out to be a big deal.
But that's controversy, Di. We don't see his face. All we see is, what, like his chin and back of his head?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. We'll get to the real controversy. So, yep. Episode 1 features the goblins raping one of the characters, and every journalist and retarded person on the planet was claiming, how could they do this, blah, blah, blah. It didn't serve a narrative purpose. It did. It was, again, to showcase how fucking evil these creatures are and why they do need to be purged from the earth. I also saw some people say, well, why did the goblins rape the men, too? What purpose would that serve from the goblins' perspective? They're only doing this to reproduce. And as much as Twitter wants you to believe it, men can't get pregnant, you fucking idiots.
You won't know unless you try.
I mean, hey, in the Trap Shrine games, apparently you can get a trap pregnant, so maybe I'm the idiot here. And if you can't trust the Trap Shrine trilogy, who can you trust?
No, get it away.
Let's see. Some of the other retarded takes I saw. This series shouldn't cover rape because people might have suffered that before when watching this series. Well, then I guess fiction shouldn't cover things like car crashes or death in the family. That's literally the logic you people are fucking running with. God, dude. So, point is, it's really fucking retarded. Got anything else to add, Die?
Yeah. These takes are almost as good as Genshin Twitter.
Yeah, Genshin Twitter is also cancerous, too. It's okay, though, because Season 2 of Goblin Slayer is coming, so I predict there might be more retardation coming. And honestly, Brad Hawkins, when asked about it on the commentary, his thoughts on the controversy, he did bring up a point, and I don't think he's wrong here. He said that the controversy actually, he feels, made more people tune in. So it did help the show in a bit.
It usually does. every show that had people talking about the controversies like this, more people watched than they would have.
Yeah, because, like, is it really that? And also, from what I looked up, apparently Crunchyroll had this first episode when it went up labeled TV-14. Imagine clicking on that.
Anime are for kids.
I also saw someone online say, I recommended my friend Demon Slayer. He forgot what anime I said and got home and clicked on Goblin Slayer by mistake. Man, I can only imagine his surprise. But yeah, point is...
Surprise in the good way.
Yeah, Goblin Slayer's, again, like... This whole controversy is fucking stupid, but it did help the show in the long run, I feel. So, I guess that's the caveat of it. Really enjoyed this show. A lot more than I remember liking, because I remember liking it fine in 2018, but going through it again, you know, liked it a hell of a lot. Well, I even pre-ordered the light novel on Audible, which is coming out soon.
I mean, and your enjoyment will also stem depending on if you enjoy D&D or not.
Yeah, and I think what really makes the show work is the character interactions. That's the primary reason you're here. So, kind of like, I guess, Spy Family or Outlaw Star. Yes, I compared Goblin Slayer to Spy Family, because much like that, you're here for the characters. Unless you're here to see the goblins get tortured, which that works too, I guess.
My favorite character was the goblins.
The goblins were the true friends we made along the way. Wait a minute, no they weren't. Fuck the goblins.
I mean, there is a shot in the Watertown arc where when they're attacking the goblins, they do a they do a freeze frame slow 360 shot of them in the air and blood everywhere.
I heard that the manga/novel is even gorier than the anime, because the anime does the typical blood jets, doesn't it? Most of the time.
I mean, you do see their faces get caved in and stuff. You see a bit.
Yeah, like I heard you actually, from what I've heard at least, I don't know, I haven't seen it, but like you see their actual organs getting ruptured and all this other fucked up gory shit. But hey, that's probably going to do it for this one. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Especially if you're a fan of dark fantasy shows and, you know, you also like things like Berserk. Because the Berserk similarities are really hard to ignore if you're familiar with it.
Or if you just want to watch Doom, but a fantasy.
Yeah, or that. And more of Doom Slayer talking. We'll be back with Goblin Slayer Season 2. Oh, fucking
or
course
like I said
we
before,
will.
if you're just or if you're just into D&D.
The only good goblin is a dead goblin. I mean, it really is like D&D, because Watertown feels like a D&D campaign. If you think about it, because you're on a simple quest to slay goblins, but then, oh shit, an albino gator's here. Oh shit, this monster's here. Oh shit, things keep getting worse.
Oh shit, we're all dying now.
Out of mana, no! As far as MVP for the dub, I actually think all 5 of the party members did really good. So, again, don't have any real complaints.
Go ahead, I know you're going to say something about Iguanodon one more time.
Nectar of Iguanodon. By the might of Iguanodon. Well, what's next for October? I think I'm going to cover something really, really stupid. Which means I get to bring someone along with me who I always drag to watch garbage anime. You get to skip the next one out, Di.
Well, I already technically seen the next one.
Oh, you did, and it is gloriously stupid. So, until then, let us know what y'all thought of Goblin Slayer, guys. And if you haven't seen it, again, can't recommend it enough, especially if you're into fantasy. So, till next time. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks again. Till next time, guys. Bye! The only good goblin is a dead goblin.